Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Blue Hawk Legend. Out with the weak, in with the strong. XRP network sees massive 50% decline as 101,081 active addresses vanish. So what they're saying here is this: they had a surge on new investors, and now those new investors are disappearing. That's the easiest way to sum it up. I guess the weak hands are getting shaken out. You know, right after Trump won the election, I got so many calls from people that I talked to about crypto, and I haven't really heard much from most of them, unless they're complaining that the price of XRP is dropping. And I got to reassure them that the price is going to do a full 180 from here. But some people, they just don't get it. They get into this space thinking, this is the moment. This is when it takes off. And most of the time, they overinvest. They go all in. And then all of a sudden, the market changes and it goes sideways a little bit, or it dips, and they cannot handle it because they haven't been through what we've been through, all that sideways action. But of course, you're going to see a decline in wallets and activity for XRP. Now, once XRP starts breaking out again, all these same people will come rushing back because of FOMO, fear of missing out. This comes from Smoke. When things start to go wrong, you just need to switch to something else like blockchain, Bank of Canada says. Central bankers aren't waiting for a collapse to adopt blockchain. They're ready to shift the entire system to a digital framework when the time comes. And it's documented. They already put everything in place. And UK banks are no different. They're also having issues. Take a listen.
Breaking news, and a number of banks have confirmed that they're experiencing outages with their online systems, which is leaving customers without access to funds on what is, of course, for many, payday. These, as we understand, include Nationwide and First Direct, and both those banks have said that they're working to return their systems to normal, and of course we'll give you any updates just as soon as we get them.
There's going to be even more issues in a real-time payment system, because I think that they're going to have problems with the technology keeping up with real-time payments. Right now, the adoption for real-time payments is still very low. That's expected to pick up all throughout 2025, and I think they're going to have to do the switch to something that can handle all of that traffic. Authorities will do everything possible to modify the financial system in order to avoid another 2008 style collapse. It's not a matter of if, but only when. They will introduce their reset plans of the central banks. The central banks know that there's problems ahead. That's why CBDCs were talked about in the first place, going over to a fully digital system. And the digital system is not going to be controlled by humans. It's going to be fully automated and running on AI. And once that switch happens, you're going to see these utility-driven cryptocurrencies. They're just going to skyrocket in price. That's what everyone is waiting for. When is it going to happen? You could tell by the way the world is moving right now. Everybody's rushing to get ahead of other countries. This country wants to be ahead of that country. It's like we're in a currency war. And we're also in a digital war, a technology war, an AI war. Everybody wants to be first. And because of that, that's what's making the timeline change. Remember originally back in like 2022 when I was making videos? Everything back then was still pointing at 2030. Now it looks like you could shed off at least 3 years from 2030. By 2027, I expect everything to be up and running. You will have 2 rails by then. You're going to have a fully digital rail, and you're still going to have a fiat rail. But that fiat rail is going to disappear over time. And I think a third rail is going to be created, a crypto rail. People that were smart enough to invest in the crypto will be using the crypto rail. By then, you're going to be very rich. The SEC is reviewing a proposal to create a trust that holds XRP. They are deciding if XRP should be classified as a security and if there are enough protections to prevent market manipulation. The decision is based on legal tests and rules from past cases, including the SEC versus Ripple Labs. So why is the SEC reviewing this while the case against Ripple still continues? Because that case doesn't mean anything. That case already has a conclusion. The case isn't even about XRP anymore. It's now about Ripple, Chris, and Brad. But, you know, whenever they talk like this, it shows you that they want to create a framework off of the Ripple versus SEC case. This way they could use that same framework for other cryptocurrencies as well. We're just waiting for everything to wrap up. This comes from Wrath of Conman. Great graphic about XRP in circulation by Ripple partner and investor SBI Holdings in this February report. Nice to see escrow down to 40%. Burn portion not quite to scale though. That burn portion right here is going to rise as more and more transactions are happening. We're going to see a lot of XRP disappear. A lot of XRP is going to be locked away. But everybody wants to know about that escrow. Everybody's worried about that escrow. And now people are saying, Ripple could just dump that escrow anytime they feel like it. That's not how it works. Ripple gets access to 1 billion XRP on the 1st of every month, like today. So once they get access to that, a lot of that XRP ends up getting locked back in. But that escrow's been shrinking over time, and it's going to still continue to shrink going into the future. Ripple plans to utilize that XRP for acquisitions in the future. They also plan on using it for institutional adoption as well. Ripple business model equals centered around XRP. Everything Ripple does centers around XRP. I keep seeing people saying, Ripple's giving up on XRP. They only care about RLUSD now. XRP is at the core of everything Ripple does. And you see their key partners, financial institutions, banks, payment service providers. It was always geared towards institutional adoption. And you see the value propositions there in the center for financial institutions, corporate customers, for digital asset exchanges, not retail. Nothing Ripple does is geared towards retail. Now, the projects building on the XRP ledger, that's different. Those are geared towards retail. That's what's going to open up passive income options for us going forward. And Ripple, they have pivoted multiple times, and I expect more pivots in the future. There's so much FUD out there around XRP right now. RLUSD Reserve Attestation Report for January 2025 is out. RLUSD remains over-collateralized with good market cap growth since its launch, currently at $130 million market cap. No large RLUSD burning. Regulated entities are on-ramping and they don't off-ramp. So you could see that it's over-collateralized. not like Tether, which can't pass an audit. And that's going to become a very big deal going forward. That's why the US is going to utilize something like RLUSD. Breaking: Doge to audit Ukraine. Elon says time to find out what really happened to all the hundreds of billions of dollars sent to Ukraine. Now, I'm sure a lot of you seen what happened with Trump and Zelensky. And going forward, everything is going to be fully transparent. Under Biden, Tether had a future because I think Tether was part of the money laundering operation. Now, things are going to be fully transparent and audited. This is going to be another reason why Tether doesn't make it in the United States. And look at what their CEO says. In the long term, USDT will be useless. The world will only use Bitcoin after the collapse of fiat currencies. That is absolutely ridiculous. Fiat currencies are not going anywhere. The world is not going to use Bitcoin. It's never going to see mass adoption. It can't scale, it's expensive, and it's slow. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is walking into Starbucks to buy a coffee using Bitcoin. Because the $8 coffee that Starbucks sells will cost you $24 and you'll be waiting an hour for the transaction to go through. Tether's going to be useless. It's just a matter of time. 1 billion USDT minted at Tether Treasury. Here we go, propping up Bitcoin once again. And I said it multiple times. This is not sustainable. It's not sustainable now, and it's not going to be sustainable going forward. You cannot just create value out of thin air. That's all the value in that massive meme coin that we call Bitcoin. Tether, fake Tether propping it up. And this is huge. This is going to be a very big day for crypto. The White House just announced they will be hosting the first ever crypto summit. The White House announced today that President Trump will host and deliver remarks at the first ever White House Crypto Summit on Friday, March 7th. Attendees will include prominent founders, CEOs, and investors from the crypto industry, as well as many members of the President's Working Group on Digital Assets. The summit will be chaired by the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs and administered by the Working Group's Executive Director Bo Hines. This is going to be big. And I'm sure Ripple already has a seat at the table. I'm sure Brad Garlinghouse and Stu will be there as well. I'm waiting to see what comes out of this, but you could expect crypto to pump on March 7th. That I could assure you of. But we are waiting for so many things to still happen for XRP. One of those things, any one of them happens, and this cryptocurrency is going to change in price very quick. If an ETF gets approved, XRP is going to spike up. Ripple vs. SEC case comes to an end. Expect XRP to spike up. I'm still waiting to see what happens with Fedwire later this year as well, and ISO 222. But we have so many big things leading up to that. That will just be icing on the cake. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.